Everyone, I'm going to talk about two things this morning. I'm first going to talk about my departure from the office, and then secondly, I'm going to talk about an officer-involved shooting that occurred on Tonawanda Street back in September. But before I get to that, let me first welcome one of the finest attorneys that ever actually worked in this office, as well as the numerous things he's done in his career. But Dennis Vacco, for those of you who don't know, was the bureau chief of the Grand Jury Bureau here at the Erie County DA's office years ago, and one of the leaders of this office, who was then appointed by the first President Bush to be the United States Attorney for the Western District of New York, and then subsequently ran for and was successful as the Attorney General of the state of New York. And we all talk about, and it's been a big discussion here locally over the course of the past 2 years, that our governor is the first governor from Buffalo in over 100 years, and quite frankly one of the few, second, to be honest with you, statewide elected office holders in the state of New York from Buffalo. The other one is Dennis Vacco, who won statewide office from Buffalo back in 1994 and served honorably as the Attorney General of this great state. So I'm honored to have Dennis join me this morning. Dennis now, as most of you know, is a partner at the law firm of Lippis Mathias here in Buffalo, New York. And while I mentioned, a few months ago that I officially announced that I was not going to be running for re-election, I basically fulfilled a campaign promise that I made 8 years ago when I initially ran for office back in 2016, when I said that I was only going to serve 2 terms. I'm a believer, quite frankly, personally, in term limits, and I believe that 2 terms is enough. And I believe that I have made my mark upon this office and upon this community in my two terms. I never intended, quite frankly, to leave before my term was up. I had mentioned a few months ago that there was a possibility that I may leave early. Someone asked me that question in relation to Congressman Higgins leaving early, and it was brought up to me that there were rumors out there floating around, and I'm a very transparent person, as you all know, and I told the truth and said yes. I am in discussions with numerous people, and I may leave early. It wasn't definitive back then, but after consulting with my family and consulting with the law firm, they quite frankly want me there sooner rather than later for business reasons, and I understand that, and I am all for that. I will be out. My last day here will be March 31st, and I will be starting immediately at the law firm at Lippis Mathias on April 1st. This opportunity presented itself to me a while ago, and quite frankly, I jumped on it. It was very important to me when I took office 7 years ago to change the culture of this office. As you know, over the course of the past 7 years, we have gone through some tumultuous times in the criminal justice system, and with criminal justice being at the forefront, quite frankly, of the news cycle. And I felt 7 years ago that the culture needed to be changed, that we couldn't just prosecute law and order, tough on crime 24/7, that we had to recognize that there are people who are caught up in the criminal justice system who sometimes deserve a second chance or a third chance. And as I said numerous times before, that you can be tough on crime on one hand, and on the other hand, give people who deserve a second chance or a third chance a break. And I think that I have done that over the course of the past 7 years. And so that the culture of being a prosecutor is important to me, and it was important to me 7 years ago. That same culture, not from a macro level. Obviously, we're going to a law firm is a different micro level than dealing with what I deal with here. But culture in any organization, in any entity, is extremely important. And the culture at Lippis Mathias is a culture of not only growth, but it is a culture of serving your clients and serving your community. And this is a law firm that is headquartered here in Buffalo, New York, that, quite frankly, is a powerhouse. When I started out here back in 2017, we had 89 lawyers in this office. We now have 111. I had 78 support staff in this office. We now have 104. And so the growth of this office has been, in my opinion, tremendous, along with the budget. I mean, we had an $18 million budget back in 2017. Now we have a $33 million budget. So as the managing partner of this law firm for the past 7 years, I have been at the helm of tremendous growth at this organization. That pales, quite frankly, in comparison to Lippis Mathias. They had, in 7 years ago, they had 48 lawyers, all right? Now they got 185. They got 14 offices across the country, across the state and across the country. That's what I want to be part of. I want to be part of an organization that is dynamic, that is growing, and that serves their clients to the best of their ability and serves their community. Because I don't want to leave, I'm not leaving my community. I live here, I work here, I raise my family here, and I'm going to stay here. And by being able to stay at Lippis Mathias and work with the Honorable Dennis Vacco, who has one of the finest government investigation practices in this state, and after I get there, this country, in this state, that's something I want to be a part of. And so, Dennis, I am quite frankly honored, not only by you being here today, but I'm honored that you would want to have me be part of your organization, and you would want to have me to work with you after all that you've done for this community and for this state. It is my honor to join you, sir.
Good job. Thank you. John, thank you very much for inviting me here today, and thank you for your kind words. I'm honored to be here, not only to join John in his announcement today, but to be here on behalf of all of the partners at Lippis Mathias. So I'm representing the partnership here and the partners who are so enthused about the fact that John will be joining us on April 1st. In a way, so as I'm looking at the folks in the room, a few of you will remember, even Claudine, although you've been around for a long time, you will probably not remember that I started my career right here in this office when in September of 1978, Edward C. Cosgrove, who just so happens to be John's uncle, hired me as an assistant district attorney. So in some fashion, this is a very Buffalo thing that's happening here. We take care of each other. We look out for the community collectively. So it's an honor to be back here at a place that I've always considered my home, and to be joining John here today in his announcement. It strikes me, it's so important to hear John talk about culture, not only the culture that he has fostered here in the DA's office, and because my roots started here, I've always been very interested in the DA's office and the culture of the DA's office. And I got to say that over the last 7 years, John I think he's distinguished himself. I know that there's always been, different management styles amongst the various DAs since I left here. John stands head and shoulders above all of the others, in my estimation, because of the culture that he fostered here and the things that he accomplished on behalf of our community. Culture is very important for us at Lippis Mathias LLP. which is one of the reasons why, John and his distinguished career track record is going to be joining folks such as Carol Heckman, who was a federal magistrate, Michael Rossetti in our Washington, D.C. office, who was the counsel to the Secretary of the Interior, or Carl Slate, who is in our Albany office, who was the counsel to the State Ethics Commission, to say nothing of Scott Allen, who was an assistant United States attorney right here in the Western District of New York. We believe at Lippis Mathias that our culture attracts quality talent to quality lawyers and quality leaders like John Flynn. So it wasn't very difficult last fall when John made it abundantly clear that he was not going to seek re-election and he was going to fulfill his commitment to staying for only 2 terms, that we began on behalf of the law firm having some conversations where I was encouraging John to think about his future. And we're so thrilled at Lippis Mathias that at the end of the day, with an awful lot of options, because I know that John had a lot of options here to select as he was transitioning to the private sector. So we're very honored and very proud that John decided to join us. I'm excited because, as John pointed out, I think he's going to be a valuable addition to our government and corporate investigations team. He's been the president of the National DA's Association, which helps give us a larger national footprint in terms of his reputation. I think you're still the president of the State DA's Association. So we're very excited about John joining us and his contributions to the government and corporate investigations team. But in addition to that, we're going to build a municipal law practice around John as well. So we're looking forward to his thoughts, his insights, his leadership as we build a more robust, across New York State, municipal law practice. So, John, I can't tell you how excited I am. I can't tell you how honored I am to join you here today, and I look forward to a great future together.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any questions before I go on to the next one? Or? Yeah.
In terms of the office, I believe Michael Keene will be taking over before the next election. Is that?
Yeah.
How
So how it works is that well, I mean, this isn't just, this is the 3rd time this has happened in the last number of years. So the previous 4 district attorneys before me, 2 of them have both left early. All right. So whenever there's a vacancy in the office of district attorney, the deputy DA becomes the acting district attorney. That happened with the last DA when Judge Sedita left early. He left to become a judge. His first deputy, Mike Flaherty, became the acting DA, who I ultimately ran against when I was elected. So the deputy DA becomes the acting DA, and then he has to run for election in November. So he will be the acting DA throughout the year. Now, the governor has the ability to appoint someone as DA for 8 months, and so that always is an option on the table as well. But if the governor does not make an appointment, then the deputy DA becomes the acting DA until December 31st.
In your time working with Mr. Keene, are you confident that he can
Oh,
take
absolutely.
on this course? And I guess, and I know you find yourself as being
Transparent.
transparent
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
You'll find that he's going to be the same way.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly, we all have different personalities. We all have different character traits. We all have different DNA. We're all different people, obviously. And so, he's going to bring his own style to the office. But as far as his ability, they are in my opinion, unquestionably outstandanding. Or I wouldn't be. First of all, I would have never had him as my deputy D in the first place. Or I wouldn't, feel comfortable leaving without leaving in good hands, and I obviously am. I mean, here's a person who basically ran the day-to-day operation of the office for the past 7 years. Here's an individual who, Mr. Kane, Mike Kane, who was the supervising attorney on the top shooting. the biggest case that this county has ever had, and arguably the biggest case that we've had in the state of New York in years. And so, his ability to not only supervise and handle cases, but his management ability to lead the office is second to none. So I'm extremely confident in his abilities.
What do you hope your legacy is come March 31st, April 1st? What do you hope continues, and what do you think you're leaving behind?
Well, I'm as I noted before, I'm leaving behind, obviously a much bigger office. I'm leaving behind an office that, quite frankly, is much more, upfront and in the public eye. I think I'm proud of the fact that I am transparent, quite frankly. I'm proud of the fact that I'm proud of my relationship with you all. And I'm proud of my relationship that we all have together because, quite frankly, I'm a big believer in the press. I'm a big believer in making sure the public knows what's going on. That's a definition of transparency. It's not just to get my face on TV, all right? It's not just to, get me, media hits or likes on Facebook, all right? That's not what this is about. What this is about is serving the public. I spent 28 years in the Navy, all right? I believe in public service. I believe in service, just put public aside. I believe in service. And so when you serve, the public needs to know what you're doing, and they need to know what's going on. And quite, let's be honest, all right? The public is concerned about crime. I mean, there's a reason why you lead all of your shows every night with crime. There's a reason why there's a crime story on the front page of the Buffalo News or the front page of the local section every day, because crime is news. Let's be honest. Crime gets you ratings, okay? Let's be honest, all right? And so I get your business model. That's important to your business model. And I recognize that. I'm not here to hurt your business model, but that's not what I'm trying to do, obviously. But I'm here to, augment your business model in the sense that I'm going to tell the public what's going on, because the public wants to know what's going on with crime. And as a district attorney, I am the chief law enforcement officer of Erie County, of this area. And so I feel, and I've felt for the past 7 years, that it is my responsibility to let everyone know what is going on and to be transparent and to help foster a sense of security in the community. When I'm out and about at a Bills game and people come up to me and they say, thank you for your service, I take that to mean that they feel secure and that they feel safe. And that's what this is all about. It's about public safety. And so if I think I've been successful in that in the past 7 years, and I hope that is my legacy, that people for the past 7 years have felt that I've cared about public safety, I've put it at the forefront, and that they and their children and their grandmothers and grandfathers feel safe.
7 years ago, you came into office with a list of ideas and goals. Is there anything you didn't accomplish that you wanted to accomplish?
Well, not what I set out to do 7 years ago. What was thrust upon me in the past 7 years was obviously a plethora of criminal justice reform from Albany. All right, that was obviously thrust upon DAs across the state in 2019. That took effect on January 1st, 2020. And I obviously am leaving office with not being able to accomplish all the changes that I would like to bail reform. I haven't been able to make the changes that I want in the raise the age law. haven't been able to make the changes that I want in the discovery law. Now again, that may be, you know, an unrealistic goal, quite frankly. I mean, like, who am I to change that? I mean, as Dennis pointed out, you know, I am president this year of our state DA association, and so obviously, as the president of that, I have made it known to the powers that be in Albany that I still think that we need to go further and make some more changes. But quite frankly, I am realistic, and I understand politics, and I recognize that that's not going to happen. And so I can kick and scream about it, or I can pivot and try to focus on another aspect, which is, you know, important as well, and that's resources. So I realize that we're not going to get any more changes to bail reform. We're not going to get any changes to discovery in the near future. We're not going to get any changes to raise the age in the near future. So I pivot. And I've pivoted now to talking with the governor and with the leaders in the Senate and the Assembly about ensuring that we have the resources in order to do our jobs with the new laws that you've passed. And so I think I've been successful in that regard in getting the resources. Well, we'll see. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm staying until April 1st is because the budget ends April 1st. And as president of our association, I need to make sure that we get our resources and that our voice is heard during the budget process. And then so on April 1st, I am confident that we will get the resources, the continued resources that we need.
John, your office has dealt with a number of different large cases throughout the years as district attorney yourself, and obviously probably the top one is the top shooting
Yep.
that took place in 5/14/2022. I guess talk about the growth of your office in your time as the district attorney and where you see your office continuing to grow upon your exit from office.
You know, the reality is, and again, this is no knock on lawyers, but you know, the reality is that most attorneys are trained in their profession, whatever their expertise may be, and then they practice law and they do their job in that profession, all right? But, you know, unlike an MBA, we don't get any leadership training in law school. When you go and you get an MBA or a master's degree, invariably you get leadership training. But in law school, you don't, all right? You get legal training. And now lawyers graduate law school and then they become experts in their field. I was fortunate enough, like I said, to have 28 years in the Navy. And, you know, as being an officer in the Navy, you know, I was, you know, at 22 years old, after I graduated college and officer candidate school, I was an officer on board a United States warship where I had 60 sailors under my command. And invariably at different times, like 75 Marines as well, who were in my division. And so at 23 years old, when you get 100+ military members who you're in charge of, you learn quick. That's like getting dumped over an ocean line in the middle of the ocean and say swim. And so I fortunately had that training, and I was able to bring that training here. And when a TOPS happens, and not only you all, but CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, everyone in the world shows up on your front door, and you have to deal with that media onslaught. And then on top of that, the case itself. Unfortunately, we have a lot of homicides. Every big city in this country has a lot of homicides. So we know how to deal with that, one at a time. We never had 10. We had 10 at one time. And then we had 3 others who were injured as well. So when you get a crisis that happens, I think that the office has grown on handling that crisis. And going forward, everyone to some degree, I shouldn't say everybody, but a number of people in this office were involved in that shooting, from the deputy DAs who were the supervisors, to the DAs, the assistant DAs who handled the case in court, to the victim advocates who dealt with the families, to my community prosecutors who dealt with the community. We were at the epicenter of the top shooting. And the crisis management and the learning lessons from that is going to carry on forever in this office, or as long as the people are here. And again, there are a number of people who are here who are going to continue on here, obviously, and carry forward that legacy. Bruce.
Do you have an opinion on whether the public should be allowed to observe jury selection in trials in Erie County? So what is that opinion?
Well, listen here. I can tell you, I'm not going to get in that particular case, obviously, because I don't know what happened. All right, that's not, it's a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter. So I have no insight on what happened at all in
I
that.
didn't ask you about the particular.
Yeah, I know, but that's obviously the genesis of your question, though. But in general, in my 7 years, we have not had any issue at all with anyone coming in and looking at jury selection. I mean, so we've never told anyone not to come. We've never had a problem with it at all. It's never been an issue, okay? Now, however, I say that in the context, though, of I understand that, jurors, their private information needs to be protected, especially in the world we live in now, okay? I mean, the world we live in now is different than when I took over 7 years ago. We live in a world now where people find out where you live through social media, and people harass you through social media and through Facebook, and people go to your house, and people harass your kids and your family members, all right? So I'm clearly conscious of that and respectful of that. And the more that society evolves with harassing people and getting into people's personal business, I see the need maybe for more protections to make sure that doesn't happen. So there's a fine line to walk here when you're talking about protecting the rights of individuals and not having them harassed on social media or on Facebook, vice the rights of the public to come into a public proceeding and see a proceeding, okay? So again, everything's got two hands here, all right? You got two hands here, and there's a balancing act there, and where that balancing falls and what position a judge takes on a particular case is obviously dependent upon the fact patterns of that case. So again, like I said, I don't have any information on the particular fact patterns of that case, but overall, I recognize the balancing act that needs to be done here.
If I could follow up.
Yeah, sure.
There is a balancing act. You're probably right there. In some cases, say the E.G. Carroll trial in New York City, they've kept the jurors, those aren't for public purview, yet there's been some public understanding who they are and something about their backgrounds.
Yeah.
So where do you, at what point do you say, okay, we can't let folks in to see versus we can take other steps to protect folks from the harassment that you described?
Well, sir, obviously, we tend to live in a reactive society, okay? And, a lot of times when something bad happens, entities react. 9/11 happened, and now TSA is created. Something else happens, and then we react to it, all right? God forbid, a juror gets hurt or harmed or has something done to their property, their home, their child, all right? So I hope that a tragedy doesn't happen and then we react to the tragedy, and a lot of times we overreact. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying taking your shoes off is an overreaction to 9/11. Okay, I'm not saying that. All right, but we tend to in society overreact sometimes, and so I don't want to. The worst case scenario is that just up front is that a juror gets harmed, and then if a juror gets harmed, then we overreact and just preclude everyone from going to trials at all. Okay, like no one can now ever see a trial. Okay, that would be an overreaction, obviously. So we probably shouldn't be reactive and be proactive and kind of come up with mechanisms where we can keep juror information private, at the same time allow the public access to a public trial. And again, finding that balancing act that's where the devil's in the details.
John, just to clarify, you said that the governor is going to determine who will be the next DA until the election?
The governor has the authority to appoint.
Okay.
Now, whether or not the governor does that is her choice, obviously. But the governor always has the ability, upon a vacancy, to appoint a district attorney. But the appointment would only be for 8 months or 9 months.
And just to go a little more in depth, I guess, in terms of what you look to bring to Lippis Mathias, you said public safety, being transparent was always at the top of your mind in your role here. How does that transition to your new role at Lippis Mathias going forward?
Well, I mean, obviously, the job is different. Okay, I mean, you're going from a public sector job to a private sector job. So I mean, the business model is obviously dramatically different. But you have you have a law firm in Lippis Mathias that is a leader in this community. It is now the third biggest law firm in the city of Buffalo. All right, and it has grown tremendously, like I said, in the past 10 years. When you're a leader in the community, it's your leadership when you are out there, where you're supporting causes, you sponsor various events, you are engaged in issues that are critical of importance to the legal and business community of Buffalo. And that leadership that they are out there with, that feeds into the business model of serving your clients, because your clients see that. Your clients see that you are a leader in the community. Your clients see that you have grown. And when you grow, that tells somebody that, well, hey, they must be doing something right. They must have their act together. They must know what they're doing. And listen here, the clients and the business community and just people in general, hear that, from a word of mouth through, other clients, other people who deal with a particular law firm, all right? So there's a word of mouth component to this, but there's also obviously a public component to this. And I obviously think that, my public component here can translate there in the sense that the public now is going to know that that's where I'm taking my talents. And they know that, here's an individual, I hope they know that here's an individual who I hope they think did a good job leading the most important office, quite frankly, in this community. I mean, you know, I don't say that. I don't say that egotistically. I say that from a sense that, you know, there's a saying on my wall in my office there from former Supreme Court Justice Robert Jackson, who was the former U.S. attorney and a prosecutor at the Nuremberg trials, where he's got a quote that says that the prosecutor has more control over life, liberty, and reputation of an individual than anyone in society. And I believe in that. Obviously, the president can send people off to war, and that's probably the greatest thing that a public service can do, all right? But so I'll give the president the one up, but after him, a prosecutor. A prosecutor is the most important office and the most important person to life, liberty, and reputation than any other public servant in this country. And I hope that the public realizes that, and I hope that the public thinks that I've done a good job with that responsibility, and that hopefully will translate to where I'm going next. All right, let me just quickly here